This links very closely, of course, with my appeal, which will celebrate the city in society, especially the way in which the city supports the arts, and also seeks to build capital and create long-term benefits. It's not that I'm anti-sport, it's just that I think we've had quite a lot of it for the last year. I want to draw on this with my own appeal, with the principal beneficiary, a brand new charity, the City Music Foundation, which will support aspiring, talented young musicians from all walks of life, providing with the tools to build a professional career and support themselves financially. In many ways, continuing on with the apprenticeships, just in the way livery companies support crafts and skills. We will identify soloists and small ensembles and support them by funding a series of concerts over a one-year period, mentorship from experienced artists in the field, and marketing and publicity support, to equip them with the tools to support themselves financially through music and make their talent available to the widest possible audience. The appeal will also continue to support the Lord Mayor's Scholarship Programme, run by the Sir John Cass Foundation, but also 3 other causes which are close to our hearts. Woodlands and walking. We want to extend Epping forests by planting 4,500 trees on a 5-acre site which has been purchased recently by the City Corporation, modestly called Gifford Wood. And art. We want to endow a programme of restoration and promotion for the peerless Samuel collection of Dutch old masters here in Mansion House, left by a city philanthropist, to secure their future so that more people can enjoy them. Claire has also created and co-edited a book about the collection, which we will be launching later this month, so that this gem of a collection becomes better known. We have a whole range of events planned here over the next year, including many in Mansion House, so that more visitors can come and enjoy the building, including concerts on a chamber organ that will reside here for a year, and about which we will be making further announcements in the near future. This chamber organ, which will be a pipe organ, a 2-manual pipe organ with pedals, is to be given to Her Majesty the Queen to go to the Lady Chapel of Westminster Abbey later next year, and happens, rather usefully, to be residing in the Mansion House for the next 10 months. So we hope many of you will take advantage of that facility, which will probably stand right there at the end, if not right here, and make a fantastic sound in this wonderful, wonderful hall. If you're more active, you can think about joining me on a bracing, sponsored bicycle ride from St. Paul's to my old college in Oxford, where you shall be greeted with a glass of Pimm's. And you can find out more about the appeal and these events on the brochures on your seats this afternoon. And do speak to my appeal team. Lizzie Allen, its director, is right here along with the team. That's what she looks like. Finally, I want to float a new idea with you, and I want to seek your views on the principles and the practicalities. I would like all new members, actually I like all members, but I particularly like all new members of the Livery to make a commitment, large or small, to build up their company's capital. So we can do more to increase the good we do over a longer period of time. This would therefore create practical long-term benefits, but also contribute to the high standing and I think the reputation of the city and the livery companies themselves. This is not to cut across the expectation of annual giving, which many of us have. But my idea is that each new liveryman commits to sign a legacy form when they become a liveryman, with no maximum and with a minimum of £1. Over time, they may wish to increase the amount they have committed to serve as a legacy, encouraged by the clerk of their particular livery company, no doubt. The principle here is that if you become a liveryman, the idea is you sign a legacy form. If it's the norm, and most of us agree to do it, I think it could catch on and actually doesn't become an issue. We simply sign a legacy form when you become a liveryman. For many of our younger members, they will not want to commit large amounts from their own estate, which may be rather low at that time. Therefore, the minimum of £1 is asked for. Naturally, when you sign a legacy, it also needs to be transferred into your will, and the idea is that there will be 2 copies of the legacy sign formed. One you will give to your lawyer, if you have a will. You hang on to it if you don't. The other will be lodged with the clerk, who will look at it from time to time and wonder if it's possible to increase it. This is an idea. I've called it the Livery Legacy ? Because I'm not quite sure what to call it. But I'd be very keen to know whether you think it's a good idea. And I've asked Bill Fraser and the Livery Committee to look into the proposal, both the principle and how it might work. So Bill will be writing shortly to give more details and to seek your views. Naturally, it's easier to ask new liverymen to sign such a form than existing ones. That's something we may have to discuss and think how that can be handled over time. But I believe it could be one way of demonstrating to the world, the City of London and the world in particular, that when you join a livery, you make a long-term commitment to your livery's charitable funds, which I think is absolutely in the spirit of the livery and the City of London. So I've asked Bill to look into this to see how it might work. He will be writing to you shortly to give more details and to seek your views. We would be very grateful if you were able to give these by the end of the year so they can be analysed and considered by the committee at its meeting in February. So in conclusion, I'm greatly looking forward to the next 12 months and looking forward to promoting the great work the livery does and enjoying your very kind hospitality at events and dinners, receptions, here at Guildhall and at your own halls. I am an optimist by nature, and I think the city has a lot to be optimistic about. Actually, I feel we've been rather unoptimistic for rather too long. 5 years is enough. Let's get out there and sell the city again. We all have a role in telling our story, and I'd like to encourage your new members to attend the city briefings run by the Livery Committee and organised by Sheriff Nigel Pullman, the Deputy Chairman, and learn more about the city. I know, too, that if any Lord Mayor does well, it's only because they rely on the kindness, the expertise and the enthusiasm of so many in the city and beyond, and especially from the livery. Ladies and gentlemen, we often overlook the meaning of those phrases we use most frequently. One such is the courtesy, "My Lord Mayor." I am your Lord Mayor because the Lord Mayor belongs to the city. We serve 1 year, we are yours for that year, you then get a new one. The Lord Mayor serves the city and the city serves the society, and I look forward to serving you. One thing I cannot promise to serve you all myself is drinks, but there will be people on hand to help you to enjoy some late refreshment in the salon shortly, but I'm happy to take some questions before we adjourn. Thank you.
That's a very all-embracing address with new initiatives, as well as covering historic activities. And the Lord Mayor said he'll take some questions. Would anybody like to start? We have a roving microphone. If you could just say, name your livery company and ask a question. Anton in the front.
Timothy Palmer, Master Mercer. I'd just like to say, Lord Mayor, that I think your idea for legacy commitment by members of the livery is an extremely good one. It certainly squares very nicely with what we at the Mercer's Company are currently working on, very much the direction in which our ideas are moving. So I think personally that its time has come, and I expect my company to be strongly in favour of that approach. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other question or comment? Yeah. Anton.
Thank you for your speech. It was most inspiring, and I too would like to... My name is Peter Matthews, Master Water Conservator. I'd like to echo the sentiments of the Master Mercer. We too are looking at a scheme for legacy, and so we have no hesitation in saying that we will be very pleased to join in with your initiative. But I'm afraid that my question is rather more nitty-gritty than the inspirational talk you've been giving us. The city briefing is no longer circulated to city clerks. And I wonder what, if anything, you intend to do, or the city intends to do, to replace that briefing.
The city briefing was a monthly issue by Mansion House, by Guildhall, and it was originally for Common Council, to advise Common Council what was going on. And it's become even more domestic, and the policy committee felt that it should be reviewed, and they are looking into revamping the members' briefing, and at the same time they are preparing an alternative briefing for the livery. And the new first edition of the new livery briefing will come out in January, and it should be much more focused on livery activities and information very relevant to livery companies. Any other questions? Anybody would like to? ask the Lord Mayor. Well, you've covered everything, I ignored.
Yeah, covered everything all
What? If there are no more questions, then, my Lord Mayor, thank you for a very thoughtful and forceful address. In your address, you touched on some of the history and varied work of the Livery in social care, in education, in the arts, support for the armed services, and in other areas. The point which I would like to make to everybody here today is to emphasize that as a result of the Livery participation in Her Majesty's Diamond Jubilee, and especially the Livery lunch in Westminster Hall, together with the recent Livery exhibition, Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Maker in the Guildhall Art Gallery, we as an organization have received a range of very positive public comment in the media, coverage of which we must now try to capitalize on in developing our work, and particularly on the work of the Livery Skills Council and what they are doing in the field of apprenticeships, which you did touch on, my Lord Mayor. Lord Mayor, I'm sure everybody here shares your expressed regard and appreciation for the service and help we have all received over a good many years from the sword-bearer and the City Marshal. And we join you in wishing them both a long and happy retirement. And I would also like to add our thanks to the Private Secretary and everybody else in the Mansion House team for all the help which we receive from them year on and year out. Lord Mayor, you've given us a number of challenges, and I'll be particularly interested to see how many come forward to join you on the bicycle ride to Oxford. But I'm sure we can respond positively to your challenge, and particularly to the new initiative on the London Livery Legacy. And on behalf of the Livery members here, I thank you and the Lady Mayoress for inviting us and for your hospitality. On behalf of us all, I wish you both a very happy and successful year. And the Lord Mayor has now kindly invited us for refreshment in the salon. Thank you.